All right, so we are on section 9.3. You can see the boxes behind me. You know that there's going to be an exponential rule that goes inside there. So far, I've probably showed you about 5 rules of how you're supposed to simplify exponents. You learned that if your bases are the same and they're being multiplied, you add the exponents. You learned that if the bases are the same and you are dividing them, you subtract the exponents. You learn that if you're raising a power to a power, meaning that you've got exponents inside of parentheses and an exponent on the outside, you multiply those two exponents. And you learn that everything inside the parentheses is raised to whatever exponent's on, whatever power is on the outside. So today's lesson, we're just going to add to that, and we're going to talk about zero and negative exponents. Now, you may not have noticed this, but all last week or over the past couple of days when we were doing these problems, all of your exponents were positive numbers. You did not have a single negative number or a single zero. So all I'm going to do for this set of notes, they're going to be pretty quick, is just tell you how to handle when your exponent is zero, and more importantly, what to do when your exponent is negative. So first, in this first box, let's start off with a rule that you probably learned in middle school. What do you do when your exponent is 1? There was a rule that you had to learn that whenever you raise something to the first power, it's always equal to something. And that something is whenever you raise a base or a number or a variable to the first power, it's always equal to that base. Because remember, we rarely see the 1. It's invisible. You just know that this 1 is invisible. Well, if it's invisible, then you've just got whatever that base is. So that's what you put in the first box, just to remind you, because you may see that in some more problems in this lesson. The second box deals with what happens with the exponent is 0. So you have on your notes, when the exponent is equal to 0, the answer is always 1. That's what you put in the blank there. When the exponent is 0, the answer is always 1. So in your box, you want to say anything raised to the 0 power is always equal to 1. 1. So whenever you see something raised to the 0 power, it's just 1. Okay? Now, the third rule, and this is the most important one, is what happens when you have negative exponents. So you have a sentence on your notes that says, when, and I'll just write it down so you'll know where I am, when the exponent is a negative number, the answer is written as a fraction. This is what you put in the blank. The answer is written as a fraction. And here's what you put in the box. You've got a box there. All right? So in the box, if I say that your exponent is a negative number, so that's a raised to the negative n, just a negative number. Anytime it's raised to the negative power, it's equal to 1 over a to the n. That's the fraction I'm talking about. Whenever you have a negative exponent, you have to write it this way. And notice that once you write it as a fraction, the negative sign goes away. Now here's something else I want you to do, all right? Beside that box, I want you to draw another box, and let me show you what happens when you're given a fraction that already has a negative exponent. So you all see what I have? Y is 1 over a raised to the negative n. Well, let's look at the fraction as upstairs and downstairs. If my exponent is already upstairs, I put it downstairs and change it to a positive. If it's already downstairs, I just take it upstairs and change it to a positive. So write these two down. These are all the rules that we're going to talk about in this lesson. I've got one major thing to write, and then we'll